Pro Charger, TBM, and Blaine Brothers Racing. He's your number 9 qualified machine. You went a 4:05.3. And Adrian Herrera making the long haul from Fort Worth, Texas. The 67 Chevelle. He's number 8 at a 4:04.9.
Man, how cool is Adrian Herrera's car? That 67 big-bodied Chevy. And pretty solidly qualified. Made some good runs, and they could make some noise here in the category of Pro Street this weekend. Not your traditional Mustang or Camaro, and went outside the box in this build.
Derek, you touched on it. That's what's so cool about this Pro Street category. You know, the different body styles, the different power combinations. And, man, what a tight group in qualifying.
Yeah, 397 down to a 418, 16 cars. They're in. Red light for Herrera. Marty Merlotte's going to go 414 here, 160 the speed with this Ford Mustang. And a little late shoots for Adrian, but 408, 185, and did not need to go red. That's a tough break and a long drive all the way back to Texas here in the opening round of competition.
Our next pair completing the burnout process, Nick Agostino here on the right-hand side. Out of Markham, Ontario, Canada. His 69 Camaro comes in as the number 10 qualified machine at a 4:06.1. And Tim Essick, the Brown Sugar Hot Rod, left side of the racetrack out of Port Tobacco, Maryland. For GALOT Motorsports, Pro Charger, Billet, UPR, PRS, Fuel Tech, and ATI. Essick, a past world champion in the category. Always a tough competitor, but Nick Agostino's looked good here this weekend.
Nice to see Nick Agostino come back to championship form. Think back just to about 2 seasons ago. That is the race car everybody was really chasing. One of the fastest in the category, and Tim Essick. Car that he built himself, we've talked about so many times.
And Agostino, small block twin turbo, Nash performance engine. Tim Essick utilizing the Pro Charger on his brown sugar machine.
Goes to Tim Essick. Left-hand side, Essick's going to go 404, 186 the speed at 455 for Nick Agostino. He had some issues lifted early, but unfortunately for Nick, he was 0-9 here at the starting line. And against Tim Essick, well, that normally does not spell a win light.
Chris Tootin next out on the right-hand side of the racetrack. The South Carolina-based 87 Mustang for the Muffler Shop of Columbia and Torque Converter Services rolls in as your number 6 qualified machine at a 4:03.6. And Bill Devine, left-hand side out of Muskegon, Michigan. The Bullseye Power 01 Mustang for Mickey Thompson, Maxima, Fuel Tech, Ram Clutches, Mincer Motorsports, and Turbo Smart. One of the only clutch car in the category on the left side of the racetrack, that Bullseye machine of Bill Devine.
Yeah, Bill Devine is busy inside the cockpit. Car on the left-hand side. Would be pretty cool to see him turn on a couple win lights here, the opening race. 2025.
But on the same breath, you know, Chris Tootin, we've watched him from his debut here in PDRA. Their program has come a long way. Finds himself qualified in the 6th spot, making a very respectable 4:03 in qualifying.
It goes to Tootin. Half track Divine's ahead. Top end by 75 thousandths of a second. Chris Tootin, your winner. 4:10 at 200 miles an hour. Takes down Bill Divine's 4:13, 174 charge. At 60 foot, Bill Divine was ahead. At 3:30, Divine was still ahead, and Chris Tootin drove a round with his Ford Mustang.
You talked about chills earlier. That one gave you. Side by side they went, and man, Tootin turned on the wind light. I thought it was going to shine on Bill Divine's side, to be honest. Andy Manson here on the right-hand side out of Manassas, Virginia. His 96 Mustang came in the number 5 qualified position at a 4:02.8. He'll be up against Bill Riddle, past world champion there on the left-hand side of the racetrack. In the Corrigan Race Fuels 89 Camaro for Mickey Thompson Tires. Cigar City Garage, SSI Superchargers, Motorsports Unlimited, and Redline Oil. We spoke on it throughout qualifying. Manson's machine's been in a lot of different configurations. Finds itself here in Pro Street this weekend at the Summit Racing Equipment East Coast Nationals, presented by Fuel Tech. And he's making his presence known. 23 of these machines took time in qualifying. A lot of big names on the outside not getting a race here today. And Andy Manson, number 5. Good job for that team.
See Tuning Electric Patrick Barnhill down there, and he leaned in the passenger door of Andy Manson's Mustang. A couple small adjustments, and they gave each other a fist bump. Love to see a great side-by-side race out of these two as they come into the top lights. Riddle, he's in. Bill Riddle making it look easy at 4:05, 187 as Andy Manson pedaled the car right at the starting line. Goes 4:44 here, so your number 12 qualifier, Bill Riddle, takes down number 5, Andy Manson, here in round number 1. Huge win there for the Corrigan Racing Fuel team.
Cool matchup right here. Richard Reagan, left side of the racetrack out of Rutledge, Tennessee. The Reagan Excavating 91 Mustang for Tim's Garage. Your number 4 qualifier to 4:01.4. Big story here on the right-hand side of the racetrack, though. Tommy Yeomans out of McIntyre, Georgia. The 04 Mustang has Lyle Burnett's name on it because Lyle normally pilots it. Tommy, normally in his GTO, brought that GTO out here and absolutely grenaded a motor through the traps. So they left, went back, met somebody in South Carolina to get this Mustang, and brought it back up here.
Dedication right there.
Absolutely.
Yeah. I mean, once you're here, you're here. And they had enough time to still make some qualifying runs and make a weekend of it, so that is what they did. So Richard Reagan, the injector hat sticking out of the 91 Mustang there on the left-hand side. Yeomans has the advantage of the starting line. Half track, they're dead even, top end. The win light goes to Reagan. 4:08 takes down a 4:15, 189 charge for Tommy Yeomans in the Georgia-based Blue Oval. We're there as Richard Reagan was 111, download 279 to half track, 4:08 the end result. Tommy stayed right alongside of him until 330-foot mark when Reagan's car pulled ahead by 54 thousandths of a second.
Ethan Stedding, Joel Winsley Jr., our next pair. Stedding left side, your reigning world champion in the category out of Carnegie, Pennsylvania. His 2022 model Camaro for P2 Contracting, P2 Racing, Redline Oil. YO Motorsports, Tie Drive, and NGK. And Joel Winsley Jr. here on the right-hand side out of Dearborn, Michigan, his 2016 Camaro. Winsley turned up the wick towards the end of last season. Struggled a bit here in qualifying, hoping to get things lined out here and take down the world champ. Ethan Stedding, on the other hand, had one rough run in qualifying, went a 407 and a 401 to 401, landing him number 3 on the qualifying sheet.
Oh, pedal fest there, and your reigning world champs out in round 1 of competition today. Joel Winsley Jr. legs it to the other end at 433, 184. Ethan Stedding caught the tire spin very early, pedaled the car, and could not get it to hook back up. Lost traction, 639 at 78 miles an hour for Ethan Stedding.
Tim Dutton, Ty Casper, our next pair, fires up, pulls through the water box. Tim on the left side of the racetrack. You saw him in his Pro Boost machine earlier out of Northwood, New Hampshire. The TD Construction 2019 Corvette for Gray Transport, Proline Fuel Tech, and TD Construction. He comes in number 2. Lost the number 1 spot by mile an hour when a 397.6 has the legend Steve Petty tuning that Corvette. And Ty Casper here on the right-hand side out of Westfield, New Jersey. The 05 Mustang they call Sinatra for Casper Performance Edge, Victus Baseball Bats, and Vibrant. Family team over here, his dad and brother. See his brother fanning the doors. Dad's getting ready to pull him up to the starting line.
So here we go, 2 and 15 on the starting line. Blue Mustang right side for Casper, the blue Corvette for Tim Dutton. Left-hand side of the racetrack. Just seen a pedal fest. Pair of advantage goes to Casper. Half track, Dutton's ahead. And there it is, Tim Dutton, your winner at 4:05 elapsed time. Ty Casper runs 497, 111 miles an hour for Victus Baseball Bats. Just about half track, he started to spin the tire, and great traction there. So Tim Dutton advances today.
In the pit area, we need elite top sportsmen. Elite top sportsmen, we need you. Elite top sportsmen for round number 1. We need you to the staging lanes, please. Elite top sportsmen. Number 1 qualifier, left side of the racetrack. That's Blake Denton out of Fredericksburg, Virginia. '69 Camaro called Bonnie, one of Lizzie Musey's old rides, and they have changed nothing on the outside of the car. Redline Oil, Franklin Electric, SmartCom, Hoosier Tire on board his machine, and John Carasini and a Currency out of Port St. Lucie, Florida. Extreme Racing engines in the 04 Corvette, Precision Turbo, Modtech, M&M, Atomizer, and Extreme Racing on board. So how cool is that, Derek? Blake Denton's machine, paying homage to Lizzie Musey's memory.
And then to go from, not qualified right to the number 1 spot, that was a huge run for them. And they came down to the final session. Pressure was on. So John Currency, 61-year-old property manager. That is a strong running Corvette. Even though he qualified number 16, we've seen some strong, solid runs from him before. And Blake Denton knows that. Zero room for error from either one of these race cars. Currency's in. Denton set. Lights are down. The advantage goes to Blake Denton. And Blake goes 405, 192. As John Currency continued to have some issues here, and it's only a 5:89 elapsed time for him. It's a tough one.
So, second round matchups for Liberty's Gears Pro Street presented by Menser Motorsport. Blake Denton will have lane choice over Marty Marilot.